Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Zoom In with Renee. I'm Dr. Renee Mehrra. My guests today are from the Berklee Indian Ensemble, which is making sensations internationally with its diversity, with its eclectic sound. It's a new Indian sound that they have created, which embeds many musical styles and genres: North Indian classical, Carnatic music, folk, Sufi, Indo-jazz, as well as a touch of Middle Eastern and African sounds. And here with me today from different parts of the world, from different time zones. So thank you all for joining today. Let me introduce.
Thank you so much for having us, Renee.
Thank you. So that's Annette Phillip. Annette is the founder director of Berklee Indian Ensemble, and she's also the artistic director for Berklee India Exchange. Thank you, Annette, for being here. Rohit Jayaraman.
So delighted. Thank you.
Thank you. Rohit Jayaraman, vocalist and vocal percussionist from California. Thank you, Rohit.
Thank you.
Harshita Krishnan, vocals from Nigeria. That's what we said. It's all
Hi.
Different time zones right here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. Yogev Gabakai, who plays the drums from Israel. Thank you, Yogev. Late Sadiq, violinist, Iraq and Jordan. So he's born in Iraq and then moved to Jordan. We have Giri Subramaniam on the tabla, Sharon Reynolds from Switzerland, the bass, and we also have Sashank Navaladi.
Yes.
And I'm going to talk about him because he's the one who had this composition Arz-E-Niyaz, which you're going to fall in love with it, because I did when I listened to it, and that's one of the cuts from their new album Shuruaat. I'm going to talk to them about that as well. But let me go back to this Berklee Indian Ensemble and their sound that is so deeply profound, electrifying, and mesmerizing, and with such a diverse home to musicians of over 42 countries from different parts of the world. And then I want to go back to you, and I want to ask you, how did this all come together in 2011?
Well, it was a very interesting and beautiful gift from Berklee. I was a new faculty member and I got a blank canvas, and the question, what I wanted to create if I had an opportunity to start something new. And the goal was to create a safe space for musicians from all over the world to explore Indian music in all its different forms. And here we are. It's been a really beautiful, colorful, wild adventure. And we've had about 500 musicians from 52 countries be part of this group. And the musicians that you see here today joining have been the group that really stuck together, kept coming back or kept being invited back for performances, and very organically became the touring entity that we now call the Berklee Indian Ensemble.
Wow. And this is such a salute to music, I would say, and salute to Indian music and beyond. Mind-blowing to me. Now, you have worked with legends like A.R. Rahman and iconic musicians like ShankarMahadevan, Shreya Ghoshal, VijayPrakash. Share some of those experiences that you had.
I would like to share something that actually has been on my mind for quite some time. I think the experience for me that was most memorable was performing with Shreya Ghoshal, a very special part in the performance, playing Apki Nazrun, and Giri was also part of that performance. And besides the musical genius that she is and just the profound nature of that piece, the song, and putting it together, what was most inspiring, I think, is seeing somebody like her, Shreya Ghoshal, who is just has a very special way of how she works and how she performs the songs, be out of her comfort zone and feel very, it was a very organic moment of seeing her sort of find a new path, a new way for her to perform and to improvise and get off script a little bit. And seeing that and seeing how open she was to experiment with us on stage was really inspiring. And I think this is due to the fact, again, the aspect of the community that we are as a group, and how it's a very safe space to explore and to be somebody that maybe you didn't know that you were. And I think I stay in touch with her every now and then, and that's always a memorable moment that we remember dearly. So that for me, that's been a really special part of working with those artists.
Ensemble brings so many stories, narratives that are personal but become universal. They touch people's hearts and they make a tangible difference because these are stories of joy, of sadness, of love, different emotions. And that's what music is all about. So how do you go about creating these compositions?
You know, I might let Sashank talk about
yes, Sashank,
Arz-E-Niyaz.
You are the hero here. Sashank, you came out with Arz-E-Niyaz. It was to commemorate the 219th birth anniversary of Mirza Ghalib. And it's Arz-E-Niyaz is Sufi background, the composition. How did it come about? Share that with us.
So I generally like reading Sufi poetry, and Mirza Ghalib has always, been a huge inspiration. His poetry it's very rhythmic. I also relate a lot to the content of the lyrics. So I read the poem and I had a composition in mind. And so I made like an arrangement, and then I reached out to Annette saying that, I have this composition. So and Annette, the ensemble is very collaborative. Everyone helps, in arranging and practicing and everything. So so we made the song happen basically. And so we basically rehearsed. I made like a rough arrangement, and Annette was very, very helpful that way, that, we should practice. And so, we had a, wonderful time.
When I heard it, because it's part of Shuruaat, that's your debut album, I really want to share this with everyone. It just washed away a lot of negativity or toxicity that we hold on, we get stuck on it. It was just so deep and profound. Words get in the way when I start sharing those feelings, because it was absolutely beautiful. And it just transported me to a different realm, higher.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So it was, when I read the poem, I sort of knew that, this was going to be something different. I was actually working on another song at that time, and Arz-E-Niyaz sort of happened very organically. Like, I knew how to start the song, how to, end the song, what sort of interludes to have. And the message is also, very, very deep in the song. It's so Mirza Ghalib, he talks about God in the poem, but he doesn't like explicitly say that he's talking about spirituality and God, but he's implying that, all the attributes that he's giving to the lover is actually, about God. So I wanted to, make the song in such a way that I am honoring, that sort of breadth and content. And thanks to Harshita, she has a solo part, and that, helped arrange the choir harmonies, and wrote everybody, the entire choir and the entire band. I think we did a fantastic job recording it. And thank you, Renee, for the positive feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. Arz-E-Niyaz Ishq. This was, and VijayPrakash was on the vocals.
Yes.
गैर अज़मी गाह अब कोई हाल
Yeah, we were very grateful that Vijayji was willing and so committed to, learning an original by Sashank. And it's kind of unheard of to have artists of very high stature being willing to kind of do homework and really invest time and energy into, learning an original by, at that point, Sashank was a student and he was really humble and very professional about it. And he spent hours and hours working on the pronunciation of the Urdu lyrics. And he not only recorded, I think the morning after our big production, which was sometime in November, the very next day he was at the studio recording the song. He went back to India. He re-recorded more options. And I felt like really he honored the composition and the intent behind it. And just like Laith was saying about Shreyaji, all of the artists who've come in to collaborate with us have really been so respectful of the craft and of the music. And that is very inspiring to all of us, to the students, to the staff and faculty as well. So we're very grateful for those opportunities.
Our listeners would really get so much out of that. Arz-E-Niyaz, Ishq. And then we have, in your debut album, you have another cut, Lady L, with the UstadZakirHussain, my all-time favorite tabla player.
Giri, I'm a tabla player in the ensemble. Lady L is a very special Shakti song. It's one of those from the original lineup composed by this amazing violinist L. Shankar, and sort of to recreate that, keeping that original composition intact and sort of reinterpreting with new instruments, new musicians, some of whom probably haven't heard of Shakti just because they've not been exposed to the music. So it really brings them into a new tradition as well. And I had the opportunity, and I didn't play the song obviously because Zakirji was there, but I had the opportunity to sort of help him around and watching.
And I also interviewed Zakirji and ARG and ShankarMahadevan. I think what cuts across the board is the humility, that groundedness, and that inspires you so much because they're so salt of the earth. They really are connected to the music, but at the same time, that attitude of humility and love is so strong there that you just feel like, wow, you're inspired by those attributes, besides, of course, they being such stalwarts and legends in music. And then you have ShankarMahadevan in the 5-piece band, Shuruaat album, because, you're such a cool, hip band. When you play, you come across so happy and contented. And I think that's what brings more grace, because that there's that gratitude and that happiness there. Annette on the piano and everybody on the violin and the tabla. It's just an amazing energy that comes out of it, that positivity. And you say, wow, that's what I feel when I hear that music from Berklee Indian Ensemble.
Yeah, I think what you see is definitely, but I'm Rohit, by the way,
Yes.
a vocalist and a vocal percussionist and occasional actual percussionist in
Yes.
very generous quotation marks with the ensemble. But no, I think what you see is exactly what we feel when we play the music. You'll see us smiling, or you'll see a moment where two members of the choir look at each other and there seems to be some sort of inside joke. And that's exactly what's going on. I think we spend so much time playing this music together that it becomes a part of our relationships with one another. Every song there's a moment that one of us has with someone else in the band. And so they're part of our lives, really. And I think that comes through definitely in all the videos. And you mentioned 5-Piece Band. I think that's one of the songs that you can't help but just be excited when you play a song like that. There's no room or time for you to feel relaxed or for you to, it just goes. So if you're not there, then the song doesn't happen. And I think we played that song for many, many years. And that recording day was a very memorable day. It was in the middle of Shankar Sir's residency with us. It was just a few days. We had to do it early in the morning, but everyone brought their A game, and I think just us being excited to play with one another, which still hasn't gone away, knock on wood. I think us being excited to play with one another really helps. And some of us have been playing together for 10 years or more. And I think every time we meet, there's still it's like playing together for the first time, and that excitement is always still there. So hopefully you'll still see that in every video we make coming, in the future.
Yeah, that's so important. It brings a feeling of camaraderie that continues and sustains itself, and that brings new ideas, innovation, and inspiration to so many people. And I want to mention that you're creating new conversations and new waves. I want to congratulate you, salute you, Berklee Indian Ensemble, with their Shuruaat debut album, nominated for the Grammys for 2023. What a new chapter, what a new beginning, what a definitive milestone. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is amazing. This must be giving a new high of euphoric feeling. What if, why not, and why can't I, and why can't we all? So the impossible becomes the inevitable. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, it was a what if, why not moment for us, which has, those two phrases have followed us right from 2011 till now. And Shuruaat has 98 musicians from 39 countries, and as well as the future possibilities for the ensemble. And so why not submit it for the Grammys, we thought, and it was a huge learning experience going through the process.
And you have done it. Congratulations. Okay, moving on. Annette, I want to talk to you about the Berklee India Exchange, where you're the artistic director and you have a lot of global music workshops, and share that with their people, their musicians or music aficionados, those aspiring to write music. How do they come to Berklee India Exchange?
Through the ensemble, as the momentum built, an entire institute called Berklee India Exchange was born. And now, almost 10 years after the institute was founded, we have 3 pillars: an academic pillar, an innovation and industry pillar, and a community pillar. And many of the band members are also part of the official Berklee India Exchange, or BIX team, as we call it. Rohit is the associate director. Yogev Gabai is the production manager. We have the co-directors of the South Asian Ensemble, Yoel Genin and Harshita Krishnan. Several other members are also, we have a team of now 11 that works on these 3 focal areas. And the primary way for people to currently get involved is, volunteering, helping out with, productions, or when we go on tour, and also attending our workshops and our productions when we go around the world touring or holding masterclasses and clinics. And of course, through support. Berklee India Exchange is funded completely through philanthropy. And so we are constantly looking for like-minded philanthropists and donor organizations that are interested in seeing young people really lean into their passion for the arts, look at ways to take Indian culture and Indian, or I should even say South Asian music and culture and art out into the world, create more exposure for people from the South Asian diaspora to music from all over the world, which we also do through the music of the ensemble. And most importantly, just engage with each other in dialogue and conversation. Even music and mental health is something that we're interested in. We really want to continue to build bridges and find as many ways to make music, have more people engage with it, and also for people who are inspired, for them to jump into projects that ignite something in them as well. So this is the large scale empire expanded view of BIX, and we're continuing to grow and continuing to think big. One of our goals in the near future is that we want to do a stadium show. We think it'll be really fun and we'll learn a lot. And, again, why not? And we're so grateful that everyone who's currently working with BIX has big aspirations, and we all have complementary skills. And it's a fun adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it also helps a lot of people to understand that, don't have to go in the typical, stereotypical careers that many times our communities go for. We can expand into careers that people have not really become so used to as a career, but all of you have. So it's a great inspiration to a lot of people who want to try this out. So, hey, why not? Tell us about your international tours. It's going to be happening next year. Where all you're going? Is it going to be touring the United States and beyond?
Yeah. So next year, 2023, March and April, we'll be doing a full US tour. So we'll be all around the country, and we'll get, those dates out to everyone super soon. We also have plans to try to go to Europe, and of course, we're definitely planning on taking the ensemble to India as well. And I think, especially after 2 years of not playing, or rather, playing to a camera in our rooms, I think we're so just amped up and ready to share our music with people in person. We've done a couple live shows, this year, and the energy is kind of overwhelming. I think it's like, we've been kept away from it for so long, and people really are craving it, but both performers and audiences. So hopefully next year is just full of shows and touring and meeting people around the world and sharing our music with them.
Because you're from different parts of the world, especially when you're rehearsing for an album or for your international tours. Is it very challenging?
Yeah, I'll let Yoel and Harshita maybe jump on this because, they're also juggling. Currently, they're the only two that are teaching at Berklee in Boston.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, happy to talk about it. I think we built such strong connection with each other, and musically, personally, and with the music itself that we've been playing for a long while, that we made it possible that we don't need a lot in order to create something really quick and kind of on the go and go for it. You know, we had some concerts in LA, and the amount of time that we now need to regroup and get to where we want to be is not very long. So we take advantage of that, definitely. And we have to, you know, we could meet for a week or two and just have very intense rehearsals daily and kind of get back into the groove with everyone. And I feel everyone is feeling it. We're always a little bit rusty after we don't play for a while, but then you get into it and you get the groove and also the fun and the environment of the ensemble. And it's so nice to be together. So obviously we can't, you know, do rehearsals on Zoom yet, but we wouldn't want that. I think the togetherness is part of it, and I feel like it's just fun to get together. And then of course, if we have a few shows, and that always kind of brings us back to where we're at. And it feels like it was just yesterday that we played the previous show, even if it takes more than a year in between them, especially now.
After Shuruaat, what's coming next?
Well, touring, maybe an album number 2, hopefully all original, lots more workshops, and we're just open. We're open to ideas. We'll see where it goes. Lots more music making, that's for sure.
Well, wish you all the very best, Berklee Indian Ensemble, and hope to see you very soon in the near future or before you tour. And keep this music profound and inspirational for everybody, especially when you are bringing in issues of mental health. That is so very important, because that's the new pandemic that we are seeing with isolation and that collective grief. So music can heal and have that cathartic effect on all levels, spiritual, physical, mental, emotional. So thank you all for creating that new Indian sound that is transporting people into an area, a space that they can feel very comfortable and feel healed. So thank you for that inspiration from your music. Thank you very much. Annette Phillip, Rohit Jayaraman, Harshita Krishnan, Yogev Gabai, Late Siddiq, Giri Subramaniam, Yoel Genin, Sharon Reynolds, and Sashank. Thank you all for joining from different parts of the world, and hope to see you very soon. I'm Dr. Renee Mehrra. Stay healthy, stay positive. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Renee.
you.